Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Particularly, what you have with the Efcc is a situation where the Commission has not been able to utilize what it has in terms of the operatives within the Efcc that do the investigation, and then also to utilize effectively the legal department within the Efcc. So you have a situation where the Efcc goes to the public, mentions that somebody has embezzled so amount, or you have a situation where people have written petitions to the Efcc, and the Efcc commences investigation, but these investigations are not able to complete the investigation, or even where they purportedly complete the investigation, they have not got part of the things that relate to the elements of the crime being alleged, have not got it right. So they go to court, and then some of these matters, flop. So that is exactly what you have with the Efcc, because the Efcc as an organization has not been able to utilize these aspects of the commission, the departments on investigation, the operatives that do the investigation, and then the legal aspect of the commission. I think, people talk about media trial, but I see it in two ways. It is important for the public to know. It is important for the public to be informed. So, for instance, if EFCC has done its investigation and completed an investigation, you expect that the EFCC should inform the public this is what their findings are, even while the EFCC is going to court. You see in other countries where the FBI has has done an investigation on someone, you see that the public is put on notice. The public is informed about what the agency of government has discovered. So I do not see anything wrong with the EFCC informing the public, but it is important that whatever they are informing the public about must have been thoroughly investigated, completed investigation, and it must be the truth. So a situation where you talk about monies being stashed away in drums and tanks, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing like that. A situation where you inform the public that this person has stolen so amount, but you've not even completed your investigation. That's what I have a problem with. But about putting the public, on notice, informing the public about what they have done, I think it is an important responsibility of government, is an important responsibility of the EFCC to let the public know what they are doing. So it's neither here or nor there. It can be good if utilized right. It can also be negative if utilized wrongly. There's also a report where it said that only 4 governors have been convicted in 25 years. And in these 25 years, we have had over 170 governors, and only 4 have been convicted. Now, it is not because we do not know or we do not suspect that these governors have stolen public funds, that out of these 170 governors or above, that a majority of them have not stolen public funds. It's not because we do not suspect, but it's simply because, like I mentioned earlier, the agencies of government, the ICPC, the EFCC, the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal, and even the police and other agencies of government have not really done their work well. We have a system, that runs without competence. We have a system where people also abdicate their responsibilities. So there is no proper investigation of these people, probably because of also the influence of pecuniary considerations. Because don't forget that people who are also working in these organizations, there are people who are corrupt within some of these organizations. Maybe not everybody, but there are people who are also corrupt within these organizations. So there could be pecuniary considerations which prevent them from commencing a prosecution or commencing investigation. There could also be other factors that prevent them from doing a proper trial. So you see a situation where there are 100 charges against someone, or maybe 50 charges, and charge number 1 conflicts with charge number 27. So charge number 1 is saying this person did this on the 25th day, and charge number 27 is saying that it happened on the first day through some other person. So you see that there could be a conflict, and in some instances it is both lack of competence, and in some cases it could also be for some other considerations, which is not lack of competence, but that somebody just decided not to do his work well. So these are the things that actually ensure that some of these trials, some of these investigations do not see the light of the day. Yes. When you talk about having a lawyer, don't forget that he has an entire commission to work with. So he's not working alone. Yes, being a lawyer might help him understand the legal aspect a bit more. But don't forget that he's not the one who is going to court. So he has people within that agency who will go. Now, I'm not making excuses for him, but I'm just trying to put it in context for us to understand how these things function. That it's not just about the leadership, it's not just about the one person, but about a host of people who work within the commission. So you have a situation where probably somebody has not done his investigation properly. You have a situation where the lawyers who are briefed, either for some reason or the other, have not been able to tie the loose knots and have not been able to conclude a proper case, have not been able to do the proper things, preliminary to charging this matter to court. So these are the reasons why you have cases flopping, EFCC cases not making a headway. And it is no different from the instance of Yahaya Bello. And again, another factor which needs to be mentioned is that, which is not an excuse for the EFCC though, corruption fights back. Where you have a system where, and this is not limited to Yahaya Bello, let it not just be about him. It's also about other governors that have not even been prosecuted, that have not even been charged for any offense, because theirs is even more in the sense that there are allegations against these people, but nothing has even come up from the EFCC against them. Yes, good thing that in the case of Yahaya Bello, EFCC has come out, with some charges. EFCC has tried to do something. So you have a system where corruption also fights back. Now, these people have amassed money. They have amassed money to utilize in the media. You can see them organizing the media. You can see people organizing protests, even lawyers, so-called, because the NBA has said that these people are not lawyers. I mean, anybody can wear a suit, come on TV, and maybe led by one person and claim that they are lawyers. But the NBA has said these people are not lawyers. So you see people having protests, rallying for the same people who have been charged, for certain offenses. You also see a situation where other factors, which should actually come together to ensure a fair conviction, to ensure a fair prosecution and conviction, do not align because of incompetence in some instances. So these are the reasons why we have not been able to make headway in some of these matters. Yes, I wish I knew more about that matter, because there are a number of things which might happen. If the agency of government involved in that matter, in that two-course matter, had engaged, if they've engaged the services of a private legal practitioner, now it is possible that the lawyer has not received his fees. So I'm telling you, so it is possible that the lawyer has not received his fees, so he's no longer interested in continuing with the matter. That's a possibility. Now we need to know who is handling the matter. Now again, it's also possible, if it is the agency of government, their own lawyer, handling it, it's also possible that there has been a compromise somewhere. It's possible that there has been a compromise somewhere where it is a lawyer from the agency itself. But I really doubt that a lawyer from an agency of government, without entering a formal withdrawal of a case, just exempts himself from a matter that is due, to be heard in court. I do not think that would happen. Even if he has not received his salaries, I do not think that would happen if it's an internal person. So my suspicion is that the person in question is an external person, external counsel, who has probably not been paid, or has a conflict of interest with the commission, and he decided to exempt himself from trial.
Okay.
What the commission needs to do is very simple: to ensure proper training at all levels and for everybody within the commission, so that they can do their jobs well. Secondly, checking the commission to ensure that the bad eggs are removed from the commission, or are punished, to correct people who have the tendency, and also to set examples for people who have the tendency not to do their work well, because I mentioned that sometimes investigation flops. Now also, another one is to provide the appropriate and the proper equipment for them to work, so that investigation is properly done. Then also to ensure that when handling their legal matters, there's a proper team. I do not know how far well they do it currently, but there's a proper team of sound lawyers who look into this case, have possibly several meetings to look into each specific case, to bring out the nitty-gritty of each specific case. And if these cases have not been properly investigated, they send it back to the investigators to do a proper work, complete their work before sending it back, so that the lawyers can also do a good job. Now, if all these things work well, I presume that the Efcc will be able to charge a lot more people in court, and also be able to secure convictions in prosecutions. I expect that this would be done. The Efcc, the ICPC, and other agencies of government, including the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal, if they do their work well, you will see that you will not totally eradicate corruption, but you are going to be able to reduce corruption to a minimum, where especially in public office, where at least the country will be able to breathe a sigh of relief that, okay, the country can now start the growth and healing process from a particular point. It is very important that these agencies of government, these anti-corruption agencies of government, do their work and do them well, if Nigeria, would be able to make progress. My pleasure.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.